Welcome to another episode of the Driftr podcast with your co-hosts, Brian Fontenelle,
Brandy Boone,
and Kiera Sandoval.
Another Driftr podcast.
How
What's
are
up,
you guys
y'all?
today?
Man, doing good after taking that shot.
right? You took the shot. I watched. Kind of shorter.
You better not pour it on my carpet, though. Real friends don't do that. Real friends take the shot with you.
Oh, Lord.
No wasting. You got to drink that, Brandon.
Exactly. You gotta take it all. Drake said it on some song. I can't remember which one though. You got to drink the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. quote my infamous Drake lyrics.
So, somebody just came back from a trip.
Somebody had a great time.
Right.
Ooh.
Shake
I just
back
came
is
back
real.
from Toronto. I just came back from Caravana. I had an epic weekend.
Hold on,
I
Snapchat.
highly suggest you go. You guys have to go, and I would suggest you go as a guy's trip. It was an amazing time. Amazing.
All I'm just wondering is why we didn't get the invite ahead of time.
Right.
We're hearing about the post story. We're not hearing about the pre-plans.
Well,
I think my travel squad envelope is still in the mail. So
We're gonna have to revisit this travel squad
okay.
thing.
See, I'm just saying.
Now things are changing real quick
Right.
for us.
right.
You got clarity now about that, right? Okay. We're on the same page? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
we're on the same page.
Yes. Shout out to everybody that came out to Caravana in Toronto. We had a good time. I've never seen that many people party at the same time. It was an amazing thing to see.
Party.
Yes, definitely. And Toronto is a beautiful city. I've never seen anything like that before. It was kind of like a Canadian version of Chicago, basically. Like very clean, on the water, a lot of tall buildings, nice skyline. Kind of reminded me of New York. It didn't have the same mood as New York, but it definitely had a New York vibe. So I would definitely go. Oh, and my Airbnb. Did you guys see the post on Instagram?
Oh, nah. It was nice.
The views? You didn't see the views that I kept posting on Instagram?
Oh,
Yeah,
Now I'm feeling
I
very
saw your views.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, that's what I was posting. That was so amazing. I had a very clear picture of the CN Tower, and like every day I would just wake up in the morning, go sit on the balcony. At night when we got back, I would just sit there and just look at the buildings, look at all the lights. It was amazing. I would definitely stay at the Airbnb again.
Yes.
We were on the 40th floor in a brand new building. It was amazing.
Ooh, nice. Hey, it's definitely on our list. Like, me and Brian almost booked it already.
Yeah, I really thought it was later this year for some reason, and I was planning to go, like, because I think I'm hitting like all these festivals this year.
Yeah, that's dope. Next year, I'm hitting all the festivals.
Yeah.
Definitely. Well, let me tell you about what happened, unfortunately, to some of our friends that tried to go to Caravana.
Let's hear it.
Ooh, story
Yes.
time.
Right.
So this is kind of like, what we talk about every episode. This is my question of the day. What would you do? What would you do if you're trying to go catch a flight to your destination, aka Caravana, and the airline completely cancels your flight but doesn't tell you?
Ooh.
So some of my South Carolina friends, shout out to Pete, Saint, CP, Deb, and Khalil, and all the other guys from South Carolina, they were trying to get their flight out of South Carolina with the connection in New York, and all their flights got delayed, partly because of weather. New York was under a weather advisory, but most of them, their flights got canceled, and they didn't even, the airline didn't let them know. Basically, when they went to go check in or went to the gate, then their flights were already canceled, and then they were scrambling for like hours trying to get rebooked on other flights. And since everyone's tickets were canceled, basically all the flights were booked. So basically my friends got rerouted from South Carolina to New York to Boston to Detroit to Indy, all these other different cities, Atlanta, and some of them didn't make it to Toronto until Saturday evening when they were supposed to be there Friday morning. And when they got there, they didn't have any bags. One of my friends still doesn't have their bags. And he's already back in South Carolina.
Dang.
So what would you guys do with that? Like, what would you do if you get to the airport and your flight's already canceled?
I need my money.
Man, what would I not do
Right.
at that point? That's the real question.
Try not to turn into Hulk or something. Like,
Right.
I need my
Right.
bags.
Well,
You
I
know-
mean, straight up, like you gotta think about like that. Like you have no bags, you don't have a flight. I would be blowing up that airline's phone number first of all,
Right.
and then secondly, that's where the cards really come in hand. Like getting a card with good trip cancellation insurance, because then they can give you a whole bunch of money. I've heard of a story. Somebody had an American Express card, and they got like $600 to go out and buy all new stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah, they didn't have any of that, unfortunately. And I mean, luckily they all made it, and some of them made it by the, Saturday night. But it was just like we were all supposed to be in Toronto by Friday morning or early Friday afternoon because we were all going to a party. Now, mind you, we already paid for VIP and cabanas, et cetera, et cetera. So, it was a big disappointment to not be able to make that party when you've already prepaid.
Right.
For everything. And you're sitting in the airport in like Indy or Detroit, or Atlanta, and you're supposed to be in Toronto.
And they still don't know why they canceled? Like the weather wasn't bad or anything?
Yeah. Well, when I left DC on Thursday, we had to sit on the runway for about an hour and a half because of storms. So New York had a bunch of storms. So the weather in Toronto was actually very chilly, like Friday and Saturday because of the storms. It was just so many storms in that whole general area that everyone just got canceled. One of my friends, Brian, shout out to Brian in New York, he flew from LaGuardia to Boston, got stuck in Boston, bought another ticket, went to the gate, and that flight was canceled. He couldn't get his money back or something like that. It was like a long story. He ended up meeting some other people in the airport that he didn't know, and they ended up renting a car and driving from Boston. It was like, I think he said 8 hours from Boston to Toronto.
That's determination.
Right. That's like a movie.
So shout out to Brian that's listening. I'm sorry you had to go through all that, man. But yeah, like he made it. I mean, he made it like Friday night, like 1 o'clock in the morning. He got there and he went straight to Jab. So, I mean, I feel for everyone that put up all this money, for the Airbnbs, for the hotels, for clothes, for parties, for et cetera, and you didn't make it to certain things. So
Right. Well, I hope they get something.
Oh, they get some checks.
Right.
Yeah. So my one
fat
friend
voucher.
that his bags are still missing. He's duking it out with Delta right now to get his bags, and they charged him for bags. Isn't that like insulting? He paid for bags, he still don't have his bags, and just get a credit back for his flight. And he had to buy clothes, so he needs to get reimbursed for clothing. He needs to get reimbursed for going back to the airport 2 and 3 times. He needs to get reimbursed for paying for bag fees. It's just really bad.
Yeah, come on.
So
Delta.
this is why I am team carry on. I am always team carry on because I do not want anybody losing my bags.
Oh yeah, definitely. And that was just like a quick weekend trip, huh?
Yeah, we went most of us went from Thursday to Monday or Friday to Monday.
Oh yeah, that's team carry on.
So, but I guess y'all men, I was told this weekend that you men need 3-4 different pair of J's. So y'all have to check y'all bag in because y'all have different shoes.
I used to be like that, but I'm team carry on now. So
You team carry on?
2 pair of shoes, that's it.
Speak for yourself. I definitely have multiple outfits, multiple shoes. But hey, I got to the point now where I'm down to 1 bag. I can even fit things on carry-on. I'm learning how to pack.
Hey.
Good job. Look at you.
I had to go buy like a new toiletry kit because the other one kept spilling over, and I kept being afraid it was going to spill on my clothes, and that would have been tragic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Well, we made it through the weekend. I had a great weekend. My friends mostly made it. We had some trial and error. We had some bumps in the road, but we all made it. We ended up having a good time. Toronto is a beautiful city, so I highly recommend that everybody go. And when you go, make sure you go a day early for any weather problems, and make sure you guys carry a carry-on with some clothes so you don't get stuck in the airport.
Right. Well, yeah,
Yes.
everybody Instagrams and Snapchat looks so lit. I was so jealous. So,
I mean,
Next
Yeah,
year.
we had a good time.
we'll be in there.
Yes.
Ray and I about to
Right.
turn up.
Like that's on the list. Like real
hold
talk.
up. Yeah, we're gonna be there.
Yeah.
Soon. Real soon.
I'm going to be there, too. I'm just letting y'all know now. Okay? Thanks. Thanks in
She
advance.
just add herself to our trip that she did not invite us
A
for
guy
in the
trip that
first.
she suggested to us. Come on now.
I planned this trip like in February or March, so it was already
And how long we known each other?
done.
Right.
I mean, got something in my throat.
Yeah.
I got something
Snack
in my
attack.
throat.
You glad my pastor's preaching on forgiveness? And I practice this in my life because we're friends and all, but
Yes.
you could have told us though.
Okay, my
In
bad.
all hindsight.
My bad. You're right.
We're not leaving you out of any travel squad trip.
Okay,
going
going forward. We're going
Yeah.
forward. We're going. It's
Yeah,
all inclusive.
Yeah,
Everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Travel squad.
Yes.
If y'all listening out there, develop your travel squad for real. Know your friends that you can go places with. And I'm not talking to the club down the street.
So what are we talking about today, guys?
What we talking about? So now that we've had basically our question of the day today, we're going to roll on over to our cards and points segment. So today we're going to focus specifically in the cards and points world of going through specific credit cards, helping you to be able to understand how you can utilize that specific credit card to the best of its ability to get you points, miles, and different ways of redemption so that you can be traveling for free or as close to free as possible. And so for today, we gonna take it back. We going back.
Hey, going back.
We going back.
Going back.
We going back to American Express to go talk about one of my favorite cards. Brandon's like, hold up, I put in a line on veto for this week's subject. Like, nah, brother, I got this. So for today, for the cards and points segment today, we're gonna focus on the American Express Platinum card. One of my, I guess, favorite cards, but it's definitely the first one I probably got into when I got into the Amex world, and it's really kind of changed the way that I travel. So today we're going to focus on specifically the personal version of the Amex Platinum card. It comes in two versions, the business version and the personal version. So for me, the Amex Platinum card is my bill paying card. I put everything on it: mortgage, car note, insurance, phone bill, electricity, gas. There's a bill, you name it, it's going on this card. So I use it because it's a charge card to pay off my bills. So one of the things growing up that I saw from my parents is that they would put all of their charges on a credit card and that would allow them to get points. But they would use the points to buy gifts at Christmas time. Growing up, maturing, learning, that's a horrible redemption strategy. But it was the concept of putting all your bills in your card and not paying interest that really intrigued me. So for people out there who are wondering how you use American Express charge cards, use it as your bill paying card. Now, this card has a lot of great benefits that I use, and I can tell you different strategies on how I use them. So first benefit, the Uber rides with Platinum. So with the American Express Platinum card, you get a $200 credit per year for Uber rides, but it's broken out really weirdly. So you get $15 per month of credit in Uber. And then at the last month in December, you get $20 credit. All you have to do, which I found out the hard way, is I thought when you open up the Uber app, you add your Platinum card, and it automatically has this new option of called Amex Benefit. But what I found out the other day when I was in Chicago a couple weeks ago is that even if you pick another payment option but you have the benefit, Uber automatically applies the benefit first. So it automatically uses that $15 credit for you and then deducts everything out from after that. So other people probably look at it, it's like, well, how do I make this into a gift card? Well, you can't really. But if you're in a city that has Uber, definitely use Uber once and then go to Lyft if you're banning Uber. But it's an easy way to knock off part of the annual fee off of the card. The other piece that's really important to know about this card is you get 5x points on travel. Now, we've talked about the Chase Sapphire card. We've talked about other American Express cards. This is the highest redemption or highest earnings when it comes to airlines that I can think of a card that even exists. There's no other cards that get 5x outside of the Amex Platinum business card. So you get 5x points when you book directly with airlines on American Express Travel or directly from the airlines at their actual websites, which is very key to note because the Platinum version doesn't have exactly all of that. And so this is the card that I also use to pay for all of my flights. So every time I have a flight, if I have to buy it, which I'll recommend to y'all, if y'all have a job that's flexible on how you book flights, you want to get this card so that you can buy all your flights on there, and whatever kind of redemption that you get back is, for instance, like the business may pay you back for flights. This is an easy way to rack up easy points, especially if you say, for instance, you spend $1,000 in travel a year and booking other flights, you get 5,000 points easily like that. But another thing that I love doing is that when we go on trips, oh man, I'm telling too much, aren't I? When I go on trips,
secrets.
I love booking everybody's flight. You know why? Because people want to pay in the travel squad. Now, other people I don't know about, and that's why we don't travel together, possibly. But for the people I know that are going to pay me and that can pay, definitely want to book on there. Also, when we have group plans, I try to look on American Express travel hotels if I can't convince them to use my favorite hotel chain, SPG. And so that's another way that I find getting the 5X points for booking hotels or reservations. So, yeah, that's why I push hotels on y'all, Travel Squad. Another benefit that I use is the $200 airline fee credit. So the airline fee credit works specifically with one selected airlines. So you pick an airline partner. It can be any of the carriers, Southwest, United, Delta, American, etc. And you get up to a $200 credit per year that you can use not towards the booking of fares, but actually, like, for instance, you pay baggage fees or you pay for upgrades or you pay for anything. It's $200 in statement credits per year. Some people use it to get gift cards, but that's not specifically my strategy. I really use it for paying for baggage because I'm team check on.
What?
I mean, check in.
Nope.
Team carry on. So, and I sometimes use it for other things. Like if I wanted to get a drink, guess what's going to cover that bad boy? So that's another way I use the card. Another thing that's very important is TSA PreCheck and Global Entry, which we've mentioned so many different times that you need to sign up for. The great thing about the Platinum card is that the Platinum card will cover it for you. Every 4 years, you get a statement credit, and the value lasts every 5 years. So it's $100 for Global Entry, $85 for TSA PreCheck. You're smart, go for Global Entry. It gets you TSA PreCheck also, but most importantly, it's covered with my credit card. Another 2 things that I really love about the card is the Global Lounge Collection, which gets me into over 1,000 plus lounges across the world. It also gets me into the Delta Sky Club as well, and American Express's Centurion Lounge Network that exists in about 7 or 8 airports across the country. So there's so many different lounges I go to. If I don't find a Priority Pass lounge, I go into a Centurion Lounge. If I don't find a Centurion Lounge, I go into Delta Lounge. Anyway, when I'm traveling, I'm in somebody's lounge.
Does that allow you to bring a guest with you, or is it only for you?
It does. So with the American Express Platinum card, it's really tricky. With the Priority Pass, you do get to bring up to 2 guests. With Centurion Lounge, you get to bring up to 2 guests. But with the Delta Sky Club, it's $25 per guest. So it covers just you basically for free.
Gotcha.
But it does cover authorized users. So if you have an authorized user, you can be able to use that to be able to get into the lounge. And another benefit that I don't really talk to people about and don't utilize enough is the American Express Find Hotels and Resorts. So it's pretty cool when you go to American Express Travel because you can book hotels. And you can book, like, they have pretty good different pictures and such like that. I mean, prices for, the most beautiful hotels you can find. I mean, you look at the pictures, they're amazing. But they also give you extra benefits. They're like VIP upgrades that usually you would have to get status for. And those things mean, like, you get a room upgrade when you stay more than 2 nights. You get breakfast included, a $100 amenity, so like a spa credit or something like that, a guaranteed 4 p.m. late checkouts, noon check-in when available, and complimentary Wi-Fi. Now, you'd have to spend a lot of money at hotels usually to get that benefit. I mean, with Starwood alone, you have to stay at least 25 nights to start getting those benefits. So it covers basically a lot of benefits and in-kind value that you sometimes take for granted. Because, man, when I check into a hotel and they upgrade me to a suite, I got the complimentary Wi-Fi, I'm checking out at 4 p.m., I get a $100 credit that I can use at the spa. Man, you know what that does to my life?
Yeah, that's a lot of benefits right there.
Life's changed. And that's just like some of the top 6. I could talk into a whole bunch of other ones. Starwood Preferred, you get gold status. Hilton Honors, you get gold status. You have no foreign transaction fees. You have secondary car rental insurance. You have Premium Global Assist Hotline. You get Boeing Internet. You can transfer it to so many different flying partner programs. Lots of other things. You get the Platinum Travel Service, which is really supportive. Like these, in the Platinum Concierge. The Platinum Concierge saved me. Like, I go on places, I'm like, look, find me a place to eat, find me these attractions, book these tickets. I just send them an email, and boom, they get stuff done for me. Not only that, they're supportive. Like, they really are just great customer service. It's amazing. And there's all kinds of other benefits that we can possibly think of. Return protection, extended warranties, preferred seating at events, by invitation only events, the global dining collection. You get access to top tier restaurants around the world that usually are booked up for weeks. There's so many different benefits. Now, here comes the real question that most people have. And so that question is, what is the annual fee? Well, the annual fee is $550.
Ooh.
It's a kind of expensive side. But when I think about value that I get back from cards, the value of the card should outplace the fee. So with the American Express Platinum card, I get way more than my value. $200 from Uber automatically knocks off it down to $350. $200 in airfare credits already knocks it down to $150. I get the we'll say every 5 years I'm gonna get the global entry. So that's gonna cause me to have basically $20 a year. So with that knocks it down to basically $130. Now, if I stayed in the fine hotels and resorts just 1 or 2 nights and get that $100 amenity credit, we'll say I do 2 separate bookings throughout the entire year. That's $200 in amenity credits. Right there, I've already made the value back on my card. Another way I look at it also is you get 5x back on points. So if I need to do $130 of coverage, if I spend $2,600 a year on travel, I basically made the $130 back. Now, also, we forgot about the fact that I'm gaining points. You get 1 point per dollar every time that you spend anything on the card. So I'm making up all these points specifically through just, my normal bills. And you think about how much you spend on your total budget per year, you can easily make back those points and stuff like that. So there's so many different ways you can look at it. But when I think of a card for $550, I probably get thousands of dollars in value back on this one card alone. And so when people see me traveling all over the place, they wonder how I do it. There are a whole bunch of strategies on how I use it.
Right. I feel like if you're responsible enough to handle this car, I think it can work to your benefit. So next year, I think it's going to be my time to step across to the Amex side.
I'm telling you, man, once you Amex, you don't go back. Well, actually, you probably do.
I love my Amex card. I didn't get to use it that much this weekend because I guess in Canada they don't use it that much. So I use my Visa, but I love my Amex card. I use it for everything that I can, except for food and some travel stuff. It depends. But yeah, everything else goes on the Amex. All the bills, everything. So yeah, I'm a firm believer of it.
Definitely gonna look into it for next
year.
The
only thing, I don't know if you noticed this, Brian, but the Uber credit does not apply to anything outside the U.S.
Yeah, so that's another thing about the Uber credit. It is definitely specifically for items that exist in the U.S. So you got only Uber in the U.S. So
yes. So when I got back yesterday, how about I parked my car at Dulles Airport, and when I flew back, I flew into Reagan, and I didn't realize it. Ooh. So then, yes, it was pouring raining when I got home. So I just took the metro as far as I could, close to Dulles, and then I took a Uber from the metro to the Dulles Airport. So with the credit, I ended up paying $2.
Hold up. See, that's how you use the credit.
Right.
Right.
Clutch.
So every month it just pops up automatically, and I use it. So
that's all you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do.
And the current offer for the Platinum Amex right now is 60,000 membership reward points after you spend 5,000 purchases in the first 3 months. So is the offer? Does it get higher than that, or that's pretty much normal for Amex?
I've gotten $100,000 offer for 5,000. I think that's how I got my card.
Okay.
That was the offer that I got.
So it's best to wait for the 100,000.
Yeah. So check Card Match. That's one of the places that I recommend, or check for Target offers because they definitely send me offers. Like they sent me an offer the other day that said, "Hey, if you spend $5,000, we'll give you 60,000 points." Just out of the blue.
Oh goodness!
I was like,
clutch.
I was like, well, I'll pay my bills.
And you can only get, the offer once, right, with Amex.
See, so here's another thing that's been changing with Amex. So they took some of their language out that talked about getting the offer once. You definitely can get the sign-up bonus once, but I think they're sending targeted offers to people after the fact. And there's so many things you can get extra points. Like they have Amex offers, and so I might get 2x spending on Best Buy or 2x spending on certain places. So all you have to do basically is just kind of wait it out. If you use the card regularly, they're definitely going to show you a whole bunch of love. So, whole bunch of love. Amex loves me.
Yes, they do.
But yeah, I mean, as I look at it, look for a higher offer that definitely should come out. But at the same time, keep your eyes peeled because this card has all kinds of benefits. Like I've gotten so many different additional spendings, especially whenever they upped, what's it called, plastic.
Oh yeah.
I was getting 2x, 3x points on plastic purchase. I was like, hold up, this is Christmas, y'all.
I mean, the other thing I like about what the Amex is they have the benefit offer. So if you spend $20 at a restaurant, you'll get 1,000 points. Recently, I signed up for a Shave Club and I spent $10 and I got 1,000 points. Or if you buy something from a furniture store, you spend $200, you might get 2 or 3 thousand points. So I signed up for those as well, and I've gotten a lot of points from that,
Yeah.
and that's an added benefit for me.
Yeah. There's so many benefits that I think Platinum Card. I definitely think people downplay the concierge service though. Like they be super clutch. They booked reservations for me when I had no time. They able to find stuff for me. They even found like some missing sunglasses for me.
Oh dang.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And they
Okay.
do all kinds of stuff for you. Like don't sleep on the concierge service. I mean, I guess I'm bougie, but like I really don't use it until I need it. And I'm like, why don't I use this? Like it made my life so much easier. They'll go out and find events, they'll do research, they'll book stuff. Like, yeah. If you're not using it, I highly, it's like I'm iterating this too many times. Highly recommend that you go for it.
Might as well.
Yes, I completely agree. Yeah, look for the offers. Sign up and let us know what you think. If you have any other questions, please let us know. We're here for you.
Hit us
Definitely.
up on Twitter
Yes.
at Driftr Travels.
Make sure to join our travel community too, so that we can support you and answer any questions. Make sure to visit driftertravels.com/Slack because we want to be able to chat with you and be able to allow you to ask your questions, learn the cards and points of life, but most importantly, we just want you to be able to travel.
Yes, travel.
Straight up. All right, now that we've covered cards and point strategies and helping you to learn how to use the American Express Platinum card, we're going to take a trip. We're going to take a trip around the world. We're about to go somewhere fun, somewhere that I definitely want to travel to. But most importantly, Kira, where are we going to today?
Guys, we're going to Rio de Janeiro in Brazil.
What?
I love the city. It was an amazing, amazing city. So, as we all know, Rio de Janeiro is in Brazil, which is in South America. And just some quick tidbits of information that's very important regarding Brazil. Everyone who has a U.S. passport, please know that you do need a visa to enter into Brazil. Well, last year, just so you know, FYI, just in case anyone brings it up, they actually waived the visa requirements because of the Olympics. But that's now over, and you do need a visa, and it costs about $175. I did get the visa that has a 10-year membership or a 10-year longevity, so you can get that as well. And just so you know, you are going to need a visa. Please do not be that person that flies all the way to Brazil, and you don't have a visa, and they turn you around and go back home. I know of a few people that's happened to. They didn't know you needed a visa, and they had to get sent back home immediately. So
Nice.
work on the visa.
That
If you
hurt.
live in the DC area like I do,
That's
the
gonna hurt.
consulate office is, I think it's on I Street or L Street. Don't quote me, but it is in DC. You can go down there Monday through Friday, I think from 9 to 12, and you can take all your paperwork. Just look on the website, and they will handle that visa for you. I know there's also a visa office in Atlanta, so look online. The visa companies will also take care of that for you. So please make sure you handle your visa. That's very, very, very important. So the airlines that go to Rio de Janeiro, the airport code to go to Rio de Janeiro is GIG. And besides the major carriers that fly from the United States, Delta, United, etc. You also have a few other carriers, Latin American carriers, that fly there as well. So you can take LATAM Airlines, Avianca Airlines, Azul Airlines, Copa Airlines, and even Gol goes there as well. So just so you know, a lot of the times when you go to Brazil, you do have to have a layover in Florida. So please plan appropriately if you're flying in the summer months, because Florida has a lot of rain, and I don't want you to get stuck. But if you're, all about your points game, please look up Latam, Avianca, Azul, Copa, and Gol and see who their partners are so you can maximize your points in using these airlines. Because I know they're with the big airline point companies and they can work that out for you. The partners, excuse me. So once you get to Brazil, here's some other important things. Just know that the currency in Brazil is the Brazilian real, and currently $1 equals 3 Brazilian reals. And from what I remember when I went to Brazil, everything is fairly cheap. Our dollar is pretty strong there. We didn't spend a lot of money on really anything. The food is very, very cheap. The souvenirs are very cheap. The museums are very reasonable. So you do get your money's worth while you're in Brazil, just so you know. They do take credit cards. However, I will say this, you do need to be careful when you use your credit cards in Brazil, especially when you put your card in the ATM machines, especially at the airports. They are known to have credit card theft or ID theft. So a lot of people have reported that they've used their card at the ATM in the airport, and then their card gets shut down for theft or ID theft. So be careful with that, or always you can go to the foreign currency desk if you want to, if you feel more comfortable, or the banks to get money exchange while you're there. So just be careful when using your credit card while you're in Brazil. The weather in Brazil is beautiful. Just so you know, since they're below the equator, their seasons are opposite of ours. So, a good time to go maybe would be during our winter because it's summer there. And if you go during our summer, just know that it's winter there. But they generally have sunny, warm weather year round, but it's just going to be a little bit hotter when you go, or especially humid when you go during our winter. So I went in March and it was very, very hot and very, very humid. So just plan accordingly. Some different areas you can stay in Rio de Janeiro. You can stay in the area of Lapa, Ipanema, Leblon, or Copacabana. Those are just a few places that you can stay. Those are where you're going to have a lot of tourists slash locals. It's not going to be complete tourist area, so you won't, you'll be around the locals, but this is more of a safe area. I think if you're traveling as a woman or in a group of women, you want to be in an area where you feel safe, where you can walk around freely, and I feel that Lapa, Ipanema, Leblon, and Copacabana are some very, very good safe areas to stay in. There are definitely lots of things to do. There are a lot of restaurants, there are a lot of bars, there are a lot of museums, there's a lot of shopping. You have access to taxis or cabs. So those are good areas you want to stay in. A lot of hotels in the area and Airbnbs. Now, for me personally, this is a personal opinion. If I was going with another group of females like I did last time, I probably would not stay in an Airbnb. I stayed in a hotel because when we stayed in a hotel in Rio de Janeiro, the bellmen were very, very, serious and on us about keeping our phones safe, keeping our money safe, and staying like within a lighted area. So I just feel like if you're in an Airbnb, you don't really have too many people that are going to look out for you, in that sense. So ladies, just take note of that.
All the ladies.
Yes. So what can you do in Brazil? There's so many things to do. I just came up with a list of certain things that I think most people would like. The people watching in Brazil is the most amazing thing ever. I've never seen so many different walks of life or different just types of people in Brazil. Like, I've seen people that look like they're African. I've seen people that look like they're from Europe or look like they're from Russia. I've seen people that look like they're Indian. I've seen people that look like they were probably lived in like maybe the Amazonian area their whole life. I've seen people that look like they could be American or European, and they all speak Portuguese. That's what I forgot to mention. Don't forget that everyone speaks Portuguese in Brazil, and that Portuguese is serious. I tried to speak a little bit of Portuguese, and everybody was laughing at me. They had no idea what I was saying. So make sure you have your Google Translate available.
Yikes.
Yes. So back to the activities. The people watching. There's so many different types of people in Rio. You can just sit on the stoop or sit on the bench and just people watch. There are people driving fast in their car, riding their bike, roller skating, rollerblading, just hanging out, partying in the middle of the street. It was just the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And the people are really nice, so they'll sit there and talk to you and have a conversation with you, help you with your Portuguese. The beaches in Rio de Janeiro are amazing. The beaches at Copacabana, I've never seen any type of sunset like that before. There was surfing out there, rafting out there, volleyballs, soccer, everything that you could imagine, like a beach sport. Everyone was out there. There was just all types of restaurants and bars all along the beach. So anything that you want to do, you can do in Copacabana. Same thing with Ipanema. Ipanema was the same thing, but Ipanema was more of like a family area. So if you want to see more tourists or more younger people that are hanging out, Copacabana is where you want to go. If you want to have something slower, I would go to Ipanema. The next thing you can do is go to Sugarloaf Mountain, which is basically like a cable car ride up a mountain, and that's an amazing view of the whole city. You can also take a favela tour. The favela tours are organized tours that takes you through the AKA ghettos slash slums of Rio de Janeiro. Some people have a problem with it because you're kind of like taking advantage of the locals that live in the city that may not be so fortunate as everyone else. So that's on you. I would definitely Google favela tour and see if that's what you want to do. You can also play a lot of soccer slash football with the locals. Everyone's always outside playing football all day long. And then one of the big activities that I enjoyed the most was going to see the Christ the Redeemer statue. That's something I've always seen online all the time, and I finally got to see it for myself. And to be all the way up that high and to just stand there next to him, it was an amazing thing to do. Great photo op. If you have a camera, Brian, I know you would want to take some photos out there, so make sure you take your camera while you're out there.
You know it in my fat Joe voice, all the way up.
Yes, all the way up. If you like to do things off the beaten path, here are a couple of things that you can do. You can take a street art tour. Brazil, or Rio de Janeiro, has some of the best street art I've ever seen. A lot of political art, a lot of just graffiti, a lot of things from the World Cup, a lot of things from regarding soccer, a lot of things just social, commentary. You can see all of that on the streets there in Rio de Janeiro, so you can take a street art tour. If you're into dancing, you can definitely take a samba class. Samba's really, really, really big in Brazil, so you can learn how to shake your waist there. And then also, if you're kind of into the martial arts scene, you can take a capoeira class. A lot of people like capoeira or MMA or whatever, so you can take that as well. And then you can also take a cooking class because the food in Brazil is amazing. They have every type of fruit you can imagine. They have every type of dessert. I didn't know that Brazil had so many different types of desserts. They have lots of desserts. So if you're early into desserts, you can go sit out and have there. You have to have the local dish, feijoada, while you're out in Rio de Janeiro. It's basically beans served with the rice, served with kind of like a lettuce that they have, and inside the beans they have different types of meats, so you have to be careful if you don't eat pork, just FYI. So that's good as well. So a lot of people serve feijoada there, and it's a very, very good meal. So that's pretty much it with Brazil. I would go back in a heartbeat. Or Rio de Janeiro, excuse me. I would go back in a heartbeat. I definitely do want to hit up Salvador, but I highly suggest that everyone go to Rio de Janeiro for a couple of days. And don't take a lot of clothes. Don't take a lot of clothes because they don't really wear a lot of clothes there.
Man, you got me thinking. I just saw a deal to go to like Rio de Janeiro like last week. It was like $400.
Oh,
the ticket.
Let's go.
What?
Yeah. It was from New York. I posted in our group text message.
You did?
Talked about
Let me
it.
look.
Yeah, we talked about it. You were probably in Toronto.
Yeah,
That's probably why she wasn't paying attention.
She said
I didn't get into. Oh, the phone service in Canada is awful.
Boo boo.
AT&T and I are going to have a conversation because I had to pay $10 a day for international service, and I had no service. And then I went over my data, and they charged me an extra $15. So they're going to reverse all of that.
Oh yeah, get that back.
Yeah, get your money.
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah. So Brazil is an amazing city. I totally loved it. I would definitely go back. Excuse me. Rio de Janeiro is an amazing, amazing city. I would totally go back. I would go there again. I do want to go to Salvador, but I really like Rio because it was just so many different types of people. And so I like to be outdoors. So people were surfing, playing soccer, eating outside. They were hanging outside. It was very family oriented. Christ the Redeemer was a totally amazing experience. So I would totally go again. I think everyone should go.
Take you there.
Right.
I want to go for the first time.
So many places to see, so little time.
Just make sure you pack a hat or some sunscreen because it is hot and sunny and humid out there.
30 for 30, 40 for 40.
Oh.
Boom.
Oh, feelings is hurt right now.
So we've taken an amazing trip, thanks to Kira, to go into Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And if I already didn't have enough vibes of wanting to go and take a picture where Pharrell and Snoop are at, I definitely want to go like 3 times as bad now because she explained everything so beautifully. Thank you for that.
No
Now,
problem.
we're moving into the last section of the podcast show, where every week we have a different open discussion topic. It's specifically on things that are important to you as travelers and things that you may want to know, questions that you may want to ask, or just things you want us to discuss. And so for today, we're going to focus on a topic that probably everybody has questions about, including the news companies that talk about this all the time. What's important for you as a traveler? When you're abroad, do you use ride shares?
I mean, I do. I don't have a problem with it. It's crazy people here. It's crazy people abroad. So, hey, YOLO.
YOLO, says Brandon. Go for the
YOLO.
ride shares.
Right.
Go for the ride shares.
Why
What about you,
not?
Kira?
I definitely would use ride shares. I have no problem. I did it in Canada over the weekend. I probably wouldn't do it in like Rio. You get to watch your safety there. But I definitely did it in, where did I go before? I think we did it in Costa Rica. And we did it, where else did I go recently? Oh, in South Africa, I did it in Cape Town. So, in Cape Town was really cheap, like $2, $3 to go places.
Clutch.
So, you get your money's worth.
But I feel like you have to watch the taxi drivers too, because when we was in Colombia, they told us like be careful for the certain color. I can't remember if it was the yellow or white ones, but one of those you have to watch out for. So it's like gotta watch taxis, gotta watch ride shares. So
Right.
might as well pick your poison.
You just have to watch your life.
Right.
Basically, is what you're telling me.
Watch your life, send a prayer before you get in, and
That's like people that says, well, you go outside, you could fall. You can scrape your leg. You
right.
can get germs. I'm like, also, you can die inside, too.
Right. Is Lyft outside the United States yet?
I believe so.
I thought so.
I don't think they as in many places as Uber maybe, but I think they
Okay.
outside the U.S.
I haven't started using Lyft yet. Have you guys used Lyft yet?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I use Lyft.
Well, they finally made an incentive for me to use Lyft. So, I
For
would
the
use
points, right?
for the points. That's what we bout. Man, that's why you my dog. That's why you my dog, Snacker Check. You already knew what I was about to say. You finished my sentence for me.
Sorry.
So like with Uber, I got 2x points on American Express, but then I would also get 5x points for every dollar spent on Uber for Starwood when I stayed at Starwood Hotel. So I'm like getting cross rewards, and then I would get Delta points on top of that.
Wait, Delta? How were you getting Delta points?
So
Explain.
Delta has a partnership with Starwood, and Starwood's a partnership with Uber, and Uber has a partnership with American Express.
That's too much.
So I'm getting like 3 sets of points off of just being at Uber while staying at Starwood and using my American Express card.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
Giving
it's called
me the side eye
crossover
right now.
rewards. Look, I looked at my point sheet. I be seeing Uber double dip on both sides.
Get those points.
But the way Uber's set up right now, I hope they can keep those relationships.
So Uber and I are going to have a conversation tomorrow along with AT&T because they were quoting me one price for rides. So they quoted me 35 Canadian dollars to go to the airport yesterday. And then after I get dropped off, all of a sudden it's 45 US dollars. I'm like, wait a minute now. When did Canadian money become more valuable than or value more than US dollars? I didn't agree to 40 some dollars. I agreed to 35 Canadian dollars. So now Uber and I had to have a conversation. So you got to watch your bill. You got to watch these emails
Yeah.
that they send you.
You gotta have a lot of conversations from this trip.
There's a lot
I'm
of
sorry?
things that need to be discussed.
I say you have,
Yes.
you have a lot of conversations you have to have from this
Yes,
trip.
luckily mine are just with AT&T and Uber. I don't have to have a conversation with WestJet or Delta. So, yeah. But other than that, other people told me the same thing today that they had problems with Uber double charging them. So you guys be careful with these rides.
Right.
I never had that issue. Man, Uber, I definitely try using Uber and stuff when I'm abroad, especially in places where I don't speak the language very fluently. I try to use rideshare because that's the only way that I know I'm guaranteed. And they got a map too. And then I'll automatically probably send a message to somebody and say, hey, I'm on this trip. Can you just pay attention to make sure that I made it there?
Right.
So,
The other thing I like about rideshare especially in South Africa, the drivers are really nice. And most of the time, they're really eager to know, where are you coming from and
That's
why
true.
are you in
Yeah.
our country and what is it that you want to see or what is it that you want to do. And if you guys create a rapport, they have no
Yeah.
problem looking out for you and giving you some suggestions or even, maybe helping you out with other rides on other
Yes.
days.
That's what I love about when I get in the ride share. They definitely are more kind to ask questions, stuff like that. You can ask them about the lay of the land.
Right.
I like going places now and having like no plans and itinerary. Maybe written down a couple things to do, but then asking locals, what do I do? When I get in a ride share, I know that they're hopefully 9 times out of 10 going to take me to the right place.
Right.
But which means my life could be in danger. But hey, I'm a risky guy occasionally after I've prayed a few times. So therefore, asking like the rideshare people, these people that drive, they try to be good natured because they know I'm about to leave them either a good review or a bad review, or a beating across the head if they try to kidnap me.
And then I feel like you have some type of insurance when you use ride shares. Like you can hit up Uber or Lyft corporate office if you have any issues or problems, or you can always sue too. But like with the taxis, it's like
Suing, my friend.
Most of those are run by the government, so good luck with that.
Good luck.
But I don't know though. Everybody have their options, I guess.
Mine just involved what can I sue?
Right.
That's got to be a real
Right.
strategy up in the arsenal.
Exactly.
Oh, this went wrong? Yeah, I'm about to contest this. You got to do those things.
Hey, you never know.
You never know. Look, we out here.
I actually canceled my first Uber this weekend. I never
Really?
canceled one before. Yeah, because my phone wasn't working, and I couldn't call him to like tell him where I was. So I just got canceled. So I canceled the trip.
You got to pay that $5.
I mean, yeah. So yeah, I was okay with that. That's okay.
Pay
But yeah,
that money.
AT&T and I are actually gonna like have a conversation.
I want to be like a fly on the wall in this
Right.
conversation. 'Cause
No, I'm gonna be nice, and then
that's what they all say.
we're gonna go from there. I'm going to start the conversation off nicely because I hate it when people try to talk to me crazy from the beginning when I don't even know what's going on. Right?
What's going down?
Give me the opportunity to let me explain, and then if you don't want to help me, then we'll have to go to alternative measures.
Man, that's everybody be like, let me explain. See what happened was what the word, what the business is.
Right.
But no, like ride shares. I do use taxis too though when like I travel, but I think I trust ride shares because usually the price be cheap for me internationally. Whereas with taxi, I don't know their currency system, and I'm trying to pay with card because it's all about them points.
That too.
It's all about them points.
Another benefit.
Another benefit.
for ride shares.
Right. So I mean, and Lyft just got some like kind of thing where they get 3x points on Delta. So I'm now considering Lyft, but I still got like my Uber strategy because I got the Amex Platinum that we just covered today on the show, and I'm getting that $200 credit per year. So I got to use that first, and then I'm trying to get my points after that. So it keeps things in perspective. But I would say if I could use Uber and stuff like that, I trust that. Then I would trust the taxi because at least I know they're following a path. Right. Other people can see that path. Yeah. When you ride a taxi, ain't no telling where he gonna take you, or she, or whoever's driving. So I'm overwhelmingly team rideshare.
Yeah, me too.
Yep, team ride share. Hey, we agree for once.
Hey,
for once,
all
look
three
at
of us.
this.
Let's go.
Oh God.
Okay, like let's go get lottery tickets because now we're all gonna get rich or something. Like the stars had to align for this. The stars had to align. Ooh, girl.
So silly.
I'm just saying. Look, I'm trying to get rich so we can travel more.
All right, well, y'all let me know what numbers and I'm getting a ticket. I'll get it tomorrow.
Sounds like a plan.
Done.
All right, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Driftr Podcast. We hope that you've enjoyed our show, learning what to do, especially when your flight gets canceled and you have no idea, which, man, I still can't get over that.
Right.
I would have blown, if I didn't have my faith, I would have blown a gasket. We also talked about the American Express Platinum Card. So if you have questions about strategy and how to use it, make sure to join us in our Driftr travel communities on Slack. You can visit driftertravels.com/Slack to learn more and ask questions specifically on how to use the American Express Platinum Card. We also took an amazing trip, thanks to Kiera, to Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. Hopefully that you're going soon. If you see a flight deal, holler at your boy, because I'm trying to go. I'm trying to be gone, like straight up.
Just get that visa.
And last but not least, go play the lotto, because we all agreed that when you go abroad, please use ride shares.
Yes, team ride share.
Team ride share. Maybe I'll be team carry on next.
Oh, yes. Look at that.
Slowly but surely.
Wait, I'm definitely buying a lottery ticket if that happens, Brayden. Definitely.
We're going to take a trip, all three of us, and I'm going to be team carry on just for y'all. Because y'all have inspired my life to
You're going
be
to put
better.
stuff in our bag, Brayden.
Right.
No, these gifts coming back going to have to be checked in, though. That's why I bring an extra bag usually, because I can have like an empty suitcase to just load up the stuff.
I'm cool with that. I do that too.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to listen to us. Give us reviews on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, Google Play, TuneIn. And we're also adding in now YouTube, so you can be able to listen to the Driftr podcast on YouTube. Share with your friends. Share with other people. Share with the people that want to travel with you. Share with the people that don't travel with you. Share it with your dog. We just want you to share it.
Yes.
Especially with your dog. So.
Oh, one quick thing before we leave. I just want to shout out to the brothers of Theta Nu Alpha Phi Alpha fraternity from University of South Carolina. They actually screened Driftr podcast in the middle of Toronto at a big day party. So shout out to you guys. Thanks for listening. It was good to catch up with you guys this weekend. We're international, you guys.
Hey, what up, frat?
What up, frat? 1119?
Hit us up.
Brandon didn't even come through.
Oh.
He ain't real. Over here, paper.
My bad. I'm thinking about this food.
Whoa. Fighting words.
Allegations. Nah.
Follow now. What's happening? 8 o'clock. 5 Club.
Oh, now he gonna spell everything out for the podcast. Well, guys, it's been cool tuning in. Tune into us next week as we have another lightning episode. We look forward to seeing y'all, especially on a flight somewhere. And remember our favorite words: book the ticket.
Book the ticket. Talk to you guys next week.
Yes, sir. Peace out.
Later.